Places to go and things to see. Toronto is a hub for tourist activity. According to Destination Toronto, the visitor economy brought over $10 billion into the city in 2019. But once the tourists get here, how easy is it for them to get around?
Wanted to go to the CN Tower, so we just walked that way.
It's easy to get around.
We need a map. We didn't have a map.
Travel site Next Vacay ranked what they described as the hardest cities to navigate. Toronto finding itself at the very top of the list, closely followed by London, England, and Mexico City. The site says they base the rankings on Google searches for directions, locations, and maps at each destination, as well as median mobile download speed, walkability, taxi fares, and options for getting around. It cites traffic disruptions, congestion, and road closures that could suddenly change your route and potentially get you lost.
It's a bit of a curious methodology, assuming that anyone searching for an address on Google is confused and can't figure out how to get there.
Andrew Weir is the Executive Vice President of Destination Toronto.
The bigger takeaway for me looking at that list is when you've got a list about tourism-related cities, and Toronto is in the top 5 with London, New York, and Paris, that's company I'm willing to keep.
At the same time on Wednesday afternoon, we found some tourists from all over: Texas, Amsterdam, Marseille, France, and these two groups closer to home from Alberta. They had mixed reactions on how hard it is to get around town.
It looks a little overwhelming.
It seems to be easy.
Yeah, we're from Amsterdam, so we're used to like a very small city.
It's pretty easy. I got some good directions and walking around, and weather's helping.
It's a little bit difficult.
It's a little bit difficult.
We want a map.
But we look at the CN Tower to walk.
It's a repair.
Yes.
It took us ages to find a parking place.
We were very hungry.
So what I'm hoping you can tell me is, from a technical standpoint, is Toronto considered hard or easy to navigate?
So I would say Toronto is considered quite an easy city to navigate relative to some of our international peers. Toronto was built on a grid, and the grid makes it fairly easy to find your way around. Now, that might be a different question than whether we have all of the street signage and other wayfinding that can make it easy.
In a written statement to City News, the city saying, looking at the Next Vacay assessment, Toronto seems to rank better than many other cities in taxi fares and median mobile download speeds. The city has a good streetscape environment of generous sidewalks and streetscaping for pedestrians.
There are plenty of directions all around.
With Google Maps, it's okay, but for sure, it's still fairly grid-like.
By the way, we did recently make another list. This one, Time's 50 greatest places to explore of 2022. In Dundas Square in downtown Toronto, David Zura, City News.